Hi guys, welcome back to today's video. On today's video, we'll be doing every club's pass mark for the 2026 season. It's only 8 days away. Hope you like this video and make sure you like and subscribe and tap notification bell. You notify when I post a video. Let's get into the video. Adelaide, I reckon their pass mark is top two finish because I reckon like last year they're the first team to go out in straight sets becoming top of the ladder since 1983. I reckon Adelaide they need to prove there was no fluke last year. Like they need to like they had got better than like Cal and Archies. They don't have Mark King or Dan Curtin for the first part. That's going to hurt and a hard draw. I do feel like the Crows could drop this year. Yeah, it's just my opinion. I just think they need to win a final for the first time since 2017. What they need to do this year, yeah, Crows need to finish top two. Brisbane to pass mark is to do a three-peat. No team has done that since the Hawks era in 2013 to 15. Their three-peat era. I reckon the Lions they're just going to get better. They just got stronger with Oscar Allen Draper and Dan Annable joining. I reckon the Lions will be back up there. I reckon top four. Yeah, Brisbane three-peat. In next is Carlton. I reckon pass mark is a wild card round for them. I reckon last year was a bit off a down year. Like Voss is going to be under a lot of pressure. They did lose Curno, Savani, and Duconi. I don't know how that's going to hurt. They did play fine in the practice match against Brisbane. It is a practice match. It doesn't really count. Seeing what teams have done in the practice match. Yeah, I reckon the Blues they need to get this year right, or that Ross will be sacked. I reckon. Yeah, Carlton. They need a make the North wild card. Collingwood, the Parklights are still in front. I reckon time and to avoid a drop off, and the time is coming for them. I reckon the Pies need to. This is probably the real last shot to win the premiership this senior side with Pendle Reid, Power, and Sidewell on, and probably Dylan Moore. I reckon they need to actually. Like if they come make the wild card round, I reckon the next few years they're going to start to drop off with the older side and into a rebuild. They still got good players in Day Class. I reckon this team is on their last dance for the. I reckon they need to make the grand final for the one last time. Yeah, Collingwood. Next one is Essendon. Past like is to win 8 games to avoid bottom four. Then I would have had them missing out on the this week. I reckon only because it's merit left. Yeah, because I reckon Bombers they need to prove like the injuries last year was a tragic. I don't think they're gonna have the same injuries from like the same injury like having a horror injury run last year. I reckon they need to win 8 games. Like I don't think that's enough. I don't think they'll be making finals or even a wild card round. Yeah, I reckon the Bombers will need to avoid a bottom four again. They are in a rebuild. Next is Fremantle. Past like it's a win and final for the first time since 2022 and make a preliminary final, which they need to do. I reckon Fremantle they can be slow, they can be fast sometimes. Like it's I reckon it's now or never to like win a final. They got a good list. It's one of the best lists in the competition. Sides and the best young. I reckon, yeah, Fremantle. Geelong, past mark, I reckon bounce back and make the grand final again. Yep, I reckon they need to avoid the grand final first when teams lose by 40 points and miss the finals. Yep, I reckon the Cats. I reckon Sam Collins, the time is catching up for them. Yep, I reckon the Cats need to make the Gold Coast. I reckon make it to the final. I reckon if they can make it to the final, then 2027, then I reckon a grand final. The likes of Christian Clark and Jamal Hagen coming in. If they did lose by 70 points in the practice match, I don't think that you don't need to be really worried about for Gold Coast. I reckon They need. I reckon they got Ulan, they got Patterson. I reckon they're just gonna have a good year. Like I can play the finals to their fast one. GWS is top eight. Like they're having lots of injuries. I could see them missing the finals. Yeah, like I reckon top eight they need to make it, or next couple of years are going to start to fall. Yeah, Hawthorn. Pass back is I would have a grand final if they did get Merritt over the line. I reckon playing the final now, and they do have Will Day, and the midfield's a big issue coming to 2026. Especially with Wolf gone, and yeah, I reckon the Hawks they did play okay in the practice match. I reckon they just need like the forward line's good, the back line's good, midfield's questionable. Yeah, I reckon Hawks playing the final. Melbourne win 10 games at least under new coach Stephen King. They absolutely pumped Northfield in the practice match. I reckon that shows sign this is the right coach for the job. Stephen King. Yeah, I reckon Melbourne need to win 10 games and try to avoid a bottom four finish. Northfield avoid bottom three. Well, in that practice match against Melbourne, I reckon that shows the side they're not brilliant. Our calculations on so much pressure is Northfield are 17 by maybe round 16. I can there's gonna be some big changes up into the season. Is Northfield don't get stuck going up the ladder? Yeah, I reckon Northfield 1-3. Port Adelaide pass buckets to make the wildcard we can avoid a bottom four. I reckon under Josh Cart they did play okay against the Crows in that practice match. I reckon like they did get Cody Durnan and yeah, like I reckon they'll be decent. I don't think there'll be enough to make it. Richmond, I'm not trying to be biased. I reckon win at least 8 to 6 games and avoid a wooden spoon. Well, I saw yes with Tyler Sheldon going down. Don't know how that's gonna. He's out for 4 months now. I don't think how that's gonna hurt. I think it'll hurt a bit. Like, maybe it's time to give someone else a go. Like, yeah, I reckon the worst part is to try avoid a wooden spoon. I reckon that can be doable. We still got other starting players. We just need to get their fitness right. Need big season out of Lawler, Gibcus, and some of these senior guys are coming to and keep Lynch on the park and avoid getting suspended. Yeah, I reckon St Kilda is to make the finals. They had a big. They got 4 good players like Koenig, Ryan, Flanders. And I reckon they all look very good. I reckon St Kilda they need to make finals. There's no more missing the finals. Wildcard rounds not enough. Yeah, I reckon finals. Sydney finish top 4 and grand final. Last year I reckon it was just a poor year. Dean Cox first year injuries. I reckon they're bouncing back this season. In Sydney, they did get Kerno. He looked very good in the practice match. What they desperately need, I reckon Sydney. West Coast, win 4 games, avoid the wooden spoon again. I reckon they need to win 4 games to show improvement and they're going in the right direction and avoid another wooden spoon. I reckon another wooden spoon would then start the McGraw needs to improve. Like they did get Star Street there, they did get some decent players. I reckon West Coast still be down the bottom. Pass mark for the Bulldogs is to win a final and beat more top 8 teams. Last year they only bet 2 top 8 teams. That's not enough if you want to be a contender. And they have a finals list. They can be very good against the both sides and very poor against. They haven't won a final since 2021. I reckon this is the year. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you go like and subscribe and tap the notification so you know if I post video. If footy channel. See you next video. Signing out. See ya.